Think your green card renewal is routine? Think again. Green card holders. If you think filing Form I-90 in 2025 is just a basic renewal, you're walking into a legal trap. Here's the shocking truth. Even if your card is valid, even if you've lived in the US for years, even if you've never broken a rule, USCIS is now using green card renewals as an excuse to deeply investigate your entire immigration history, and that means your status could be in danger. What is Form I-90, and what changed in 2025? Let's start with the basics. Form I-90 is the application to renew an expired green card, replace a lost or damaged green card, or update an older card with no expiration date. Historically, it was fast, safe, and low risk. But now in 2025, the process is being used as a surveillance checkpoint. USCIS is no longer just verifying your identity, they're verifying your entire lifestyle. USCIS is now vetting your life, not just your card. Under new guidelines, Form I-90 now triggers a full review of your US residency, deep scrutiny into whether you've abandoned your green card, checks on how often you've been abroad and why, cross-referencing of tax returns, employment, and housing. This is no longer just a renewal. It's a residency investigation. Real-life case, a shocking request for evidence. Let's talk about what actually happens now. One recent case, a woman with a green card since 2014 had been living abroad, but returned to the US every 6 months, thinking she was staying compliant. She filed I-90 to renew her card. What did she receive? A request for evidence, RFE, that included full travel history since 2014, scans of all passports, a list of all US addresses and employment records, utility bills, tax returns, lease agreements, proof she was actually residing in the US. That's not a routine renewal. That's a federal investigation. And here's the twist. She wasn't accused of wrongdoing. She simply triggered suspicion because of her time abroad. Common mistakes that could jeopardize your status. Here are the biggest mistakes green card holders are making in 2025. Filing I-90 while abroad, even temporarily. Spending 7 to 10 months outside the US per year. Having no US-based lease, job, or taxes, failing to disclose your full travel history. Assuming short US visits protect your status. All of this signals to USCIS that your life may no longer be rooted in the US. And that's when abandonment is suspected. USCIS's new definition of abandonment. Let's be clear. Spending more than 6 months abroad is not automatically abandonment. But USCIS now asks, do you work abroad? Do your spouse, kids, or home live abroad? Have you filed US taxes as a resident? Have you applied for a ReEntry permit, Form I-131? If the answers paint a picture of someone living outside the US, you could lose your status. Even if you followed the rules. The timeline nightmare. Why processing is slowing down. In 2025, average I-90 processing times are now 12 to 14 months across most field offices. And that's without additional vetting. When an RFE is triggered or fingerprints are required again, delays can stretch to 16 to 18 months. This is causing real-life problems. Delays in travel. Problems proving employment eligibility. Stress over losing status altogether. That's why filing early is absolutely critical. Vital tip: file at least 6 months before expiry. If your green card is expiring soon, don't wait. File your Form I-90 at least 6 months before expiration.
Why?
You'll receive a 36-month automatic extension on your receipt. You can apply for an ADIT stamp at your local USCIS office. Extra proof for work/travel. You reduce the risk of travel disruptions or job issues. Travel warning. What CBP can do at the airport. Think you're safe if you return to the US every 6 months? Think again. CBP, Customs and Border Protection. Officers now review your travel patterns. If they believe your US residency is no longer genuine, they can issue a Form I-407, voluntary abandonment of your green card. or an NTA notice to appear, placing you in deportation proceedings. Here's the worst part. Once you're in proceedings, you can't leave the US. You could spend 1 to 4 years stuck in limbo. Legal option: reentry permit, Form I-131. If you have to live outside the US for work, family, or other reasons, there's one legal shield. Form I-131, reentry permit. This document lets you stay abroad for up to 2 years without risking your green card. But be warned, you must file I-131 while physically in the US. If you file it from abroad, it's invalid. Don't skip this step, it's your insurance. Reminder, green card is not equal to safe status. Just because your green card hasn't expired doesn't mean your status is safe. USCIS and CBP care more about your behavior, your time spent in the US, your financial ties, your long-term intent. If you're using your green card like a multiple entry visa and living abroad, it could be revoked. Marriage-based green cards, even more delays. If you're removing conditions, Form I-751, processing now takes up to 48 months, 4 full years. But there's a shortcut. If eligible, apply for citizenship instead. Here's why. Your I-751 and N-400 will be reviewed together. You may get approved in less than 12 months. You'll skip years of waiting and worry. Only do this if your marriage history is clean and well documented. If not, consult an attorney first. Final checklist for green card holders in 2025. Before you file anything, ask yourself, are you currently inside the US? Have you kept your US job, home, and taxes active? Do you have full records of every trip abroad since becoming a resident? Are you filing at least 6 months before expiration? Have you considered a re-entry permit if you're abroad long-term? And remember, never sign Form I-407 at the airport without understanding the consequences. Never ignore an RFE. Consult an expert immediately. Bottom line, green card renewals are no longer simple. Let's wrap it up. In 2025, Form I-90 isn't just a renewal. It's a full-blown immigration check. USCIS is investigating your lifestyle, travel, and ties. Mistakes or misunderstandings could lead to green card loss. Smart action and early planning is your best defense. If this video helped you, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss an urgent immigration update. Drop a comment if you have questions or want us to cover a specific issue in the next episode. This is BorderDrip USA, where we keep immigration clear, current, and in your hands. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.